Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
I am so excited to have an opportunity to sit down and talk with you and to gain more insight and understanding on your years of service on the Worthington Board of Education. I understand that you have the distinction of serving 24 years. I also understand that that number might be unmatched. Is that true?
I believe it is unmatched. When I came on the board, Sue McNaughton served 16 years, so she's the board member I know that had the longest. And I talked to a couple board members from the 50s and 60s, and nobody can remember anybody longer than 16 years. I also went to AI and tried to look at it, and they didn't know either. They just had me. So
they couldn't help either?
They couldn't help much.
Okay, all right. I want to dig a little bit more into understanding why was it important to you to make space to serve in this capacity and for the length of time that you did?
When I was a child and a student at Evening Street, my parents were very involved in our school. They knew that education was so important. They both took turns as PTA president, as carnival chair. When I was in the high school, they ran the ox roast and did PTA again, and always super involved, showing us the importance of education. So when I became an adult and had my own children and they started to school, I, like my parents, became very involved in the school, being PTA president and treasurer. I knew the library was an important place. I was on their board for a while, and community members, administrators kept saying, you should run for school board, you should run for school board. And I thought, well, that's a lot. I've got kids and PTA and I work part-time, and I'm really not sure that I can do that. And so I kept putting it off. And then in 2000, a good friend of mine who had been on the library board with me and was encouraging me to run, my dad had passed away 2 years ago, and she said, Jennifer, your dad would be so proud. So I had to do it. I couldn't stop.
Yes.
I had to do it. And it was such an interesting time, very different from now, when I decided to run. In 2000, we had a levy fail, a levy pass, and then we had a group of people who were trying to repeal the levy. And so running for the board, we had 3 people that were supportive of the levy and 3 that were trying to repeal the levy. So it was quite an interesting election for my very first election. It all turned out great. The 3 supporters won the election. The levy was not repealed, and the schools could move forward.
Yes.
So for me, it's really been a good 24 years on the board. I've enjoyed it. And you asked what keeps me going. Well, first I had kids in the district, and I wanted to be sure it stayed strong. And then I had nieces and nephews. And then there's things going on like the building construction that, the term is ready to end and we're in the middle of something exciting, and it's like, well, I don't want to leave now.
Right.
And now I have a granddaughter that'll be here in kindergarten next year, so I still will be involved, hopefully volunteer some and stay involved, because it's a great place.
It is a great place. And it sounds like for you, it was deeper than just service. There was a family. It sounds like a legacy. You being a part of this community yourself growing up here. That is certainly an example to all of us of service to an organization, to a community that you love.
Yeah.
When I think about the 24 years of service that you have had.
I can't believe it's been that long. It kind of flew by.
It flew by. So 24
kind of scary
years
that it went
flew
so
by.
fast.
That's amazing. So that really means that you were having a great time, right? It flew by 24 years.
Yeah, if you take out 2020, it was a good time.
Okay. But when you think about that collective, time that you've been on the board, how have you seen the district and community change?
When I ran for the school board the first time, it all had to do with the community and the schools. Now it's become very political, and it depends on what political party you are, and people aren't so much paying attention to how you feel about the schools and what you can bring to the schools. So I've seen that change. And of course, when I first got on the board, we were looking at how to deal with declining enrollment. And now we're looking at the growth again.
Yes.
And so that's been a big change. The funding has changed because the community has been very supportive the past really many years of levies. I mean, the other thing I've really noticed is changes in our state legislature. They are getting very involved in things that should be local control, that 24 years ago we didn't have to deal with them, and now we have legislators telling us where kids should go to the bathroom and things that our district made great decisions on beforehand. And the whole, probably since 2020, social issues have become a little more important than the academic issues. And I'm personally more comfortable in the academic and financial issues that I started out in. The social issues are definitely difficult to deal with.
Yeah. What would you say to a community member who loves Worthington schools as much as you did, as much as you do, and they want to be a part of making Worthington schools better?
There are so many opportunities to positively impact your schools. And I always think it's best to become involved in your own child's school and get to learn the district. And then I think it's great to be involved in a community task force, whether we're looking at middle schools or high schools or elementary schools or the Treasurer's Advisory Committee. You know, learn about the district so you know all you can. And then you can become involved by working with your legislators, advocating for public education, becoming a board member. So we are all community members that just felt a need to be involved and serve the community. So anyone can really take that step.
Yeah. And that is something that is encouraging, because I think oftentimes people look at folks in your seats and see you sitting at that board table and think that that could be out of reach for them. But I'm hearing you say you don't have to start there.
You
There's
don't
other
have to
places.
start there. Kind of work your way up and learn the district. And, you know, I was a mom and I had a part-time job and I was involved with the district, but no special qualifications for, you know, being a board member. So just cared a lot.
As you think about your time, is there a particular initiative or accomplishment that you are especially proud to be a part of?
As far as being a board member, really our duties are to hire a superintendent and treasurer and to set policy. This was a board a while ago. We worked hard to make sure the right people were in the right seats. We had TJ as our assistant treasurer. We had Trent in a position as assistant superintendent. And as those positions opened up, we knew that our internal people were ready to go. So I am super pleased with the treasurer and the superintendent we have now, and very, you know, proud that we were able to bring them on, and they're doing a fantastic job. And about 10 years ago, we had a policy company, Neola, come in to redo and update our policy. And I am very glad that we also hired them to keep us updated. Every quarter, they come with updates to our policy and help us keep that all in order, which I don't think the public sees that behind the scenes, but we are obligated as elected officials to keep that policy up to date. So I'm so glad that we got consulting help in to help us do that. But there's so many things as a board that we've accomplished that very proud of and great for the community. We added all-day kindergarten, even though at first it was a cost. That was a great benefit to our parents. We added the Worthington Academy to help struggling students. Phoenix Middle School for some options for students. The Portrait of a Learner that we worked on with administrators in the community. Great guidelines for our teachers and staff. The construction, the buildings, all things that have been great to be part of.
That's excellent, Jennifer. There's such a rich history that you are have been a part of, but creating a legacy of work along with your other colleagues on the board that you are leaving behind for current and future Worthington students. It's quite remarkable. What do you hope the next generation of board members will keep in mind as they move the district forward?
So we have a great group of board members who are committed to the district, want to do what's best for kids. So that's a great start right there. None of them have ever been through a time of levy defeat or budget cuts. So I think it's hard for them to think that that could be coming, and it kind of comes and goes in waves as far as being able to get all the funding that you really need. So I really think they have to keep that in mind, that not every levy is going to pass, and they have to be very fiscally responsible to show the community that they're spending wisely, just to keep ensuring that levies will keep passing.
I myself am new to public education, and so I've come in at the district at a time where, to your point, we're passing levies, and so this notion that that could be something that could not remain is probably difficult for people to imagine and to understand.
Yes.
You know, that we could be impacted in that way.
Hopefully not, but you got to be prepared.
Prepared for that. Yes. What do you think you'll miss the most about serving on the board? And then what are you looking forward to the most in your retirement?
Well, I will miss the people, the staff, the administrators, the teachers, the other board members. They make it all worthwhile. Everybody is so caring and loves the students, and the Be Kind to Kids motto, I see it everywhere. So I will definitely miss that, and I kind of miss being in the know. I kind of like knowing what's going on in the schools, and when I'm out and about with my friends or chit-chatting about something, it's like, well, this is really what happened. So
what are you looking forward to? What's on your list, your checklist of things now that you'll have some extra space?
A little bit of
schedule?
extra space, several hours a week. So, but I still work full time. I'm not retiring from that, but I hope to get caught up on my scrapbooks. I'm way far behind on my photos, and more time with grandkids, not having to rush home when we're in Philadelphia to get back for a meeting. So that'll be really nice to
absolutely
have that freedom. So, yes.
So when you think about, collectively these 24 years, can you think of a moment that you saw the impact of your service and you knew it was worth it?
So I'm going to go way back to when I first got on the board and we had passed a levy and everything good. We were in the process of hiring a new treasurer, and he found there was some issues with the forecast, and we didn't really have enough money to get by even with the levy, and we were going to have to make some cuts. So our superintendent at that time sat down in his office and was going to make a list of what the cuts were, and he wasn't involving other people. And I had an assistant superintendent and teachers approach me and say, this isn't right. He's cutting some programs that we really need for our students, and we have some other ideas. So I approached him and said, could we have a meeting with the teachers to get their ideas? And so I talked to the other board members, and they kind of liked the idea of, let's involve the teachers. Let's have a community night. We did all that, and it was great. We got some new ideas. I mean, we still had to make budget cuts, which is terrible. But we got buy-in from the staff and the community. After that happened, when I look at things like our decisions on how to reorganize our elementary schools, how to rebuild our middle schools, how to rebuild our high schools, where the district is so good with community input. That's it was worth it. That 24 years ago when it was miserable and I was trying to bring in the community and getting a lot of resistance, it was worth my fight for it, because it has really served us well.
Yes, that's one of the things that I have noticed that is a distinction of our district and how our administration runs, is that this notion of community input, community involvement. Anytime we're doing the phases, the new phases
Yes.
of building, there's a community.
There we go.
A committee of that. So
I love it.
That sounds like we can trace that back to your influence and your impact.
Yeah, and we had a great board, and they were, they were all, oh, yeah, that's really a good idea. So, the 5 of us were like, yeah, let's meet with the teachers and get this started. Let's have a community night. So, yep, it was great. When I think about special moments, a lot of those have to do with graduations, because that's such an exciting time of year. It is so exciting, and to see teachers giving the students the diplomas, that is just an amazing event. And a couple graduations, well, a few really stand out in my mind. When my kids graduated, of course, that's great. And for anyone who's a parent, we have a great seat being up front, and we can take the best pictures. So, if you've ever thought about running for the board and want to get good pictures of your kids graduating, be a board member.
That's a compelling benefit.
There you go.
For sure.
So the graduation where I was selected to the Thomas Worthington Hall of Fame was super special. My mom was able to watch it live via Zoom, which was great that she could do that, because she didn't live too much longer after that. But she had always thought it would be great for one of her daughters to be in the Hall of Fame, and there it goes. So that was super special.
Yes.
In 2008, the men's volleyball team was in the state championship, and they couldn't go to graduation. It was the same day. The district had a graduation ceremony for that handful of students in the Kilbourne High School auditorium, and all the administrators and board members that would normally be at graduation, and all the teachers that would hand diplomas were there on a Friday night. So that was amazing.
That's special.
Okay, now stop.
Oh.
I got Mickey crying too. Another moment was when the construction was finished on the front of Thomas Worthington, and all the dirt had been moved away. We had been out of town. So the first time I drove up 161, it was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's so fabulous.
Yes.
So that was very exciting. And I'm gonna go with one more. When I visit the Worthington Academy and hear the stories of those students who were not successful in their high school and very successful there, that makes everything worth it.
I just want to say, on behalf of our administration, on behalf of every staff member, on behalf of every student, every family, community member, thank you for your 24 years of service to Worthington Schools. It has been amazing personally getting to know you and to work alongside of you and to experience, to be on the receiving end of your support in my role in the district. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you, your service. You are a gift to this community.
Well, you are welcome. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and I've enjoyed it. But looking forward to a little free time.
Yes. Yes.
So,
thank you, Jennifer.
I think I got everything on my notes.
Okay. Vicki, is there anything we're missing?
Anything else?
Okay.
Here.
Yes.
It's been so great to chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.